What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of SDGC. It is Thursday, November the 10th. I know it says Brit is here. She's not on the call. She's on the call. She hasn't gotten her computer yet, but Brit is going to be here because let's face it, I would say probably 90% of our audience is here for Brit. So unfortunately, until she makes it onto the call, everyone else in chat is sort of stuck with me, Jeff, and CJ.
The CJ hive is strong. I don't know what you're talking about.
You got that dog in you, man. You got that.
I got that dog in me.
You got that
CJ
dog in you.
What is it? Like my followers will.
What you don't have in you is that delicious shrimp scampi I made for dinner. That I was talking about in the chat right there. Man, dude, that shit was legit. I sautéed some shrimp and broccolini, and made a lemon and cream Parmesan sauce. A little milk, a little garlic, some butter, some cornstarch, a little white wine, and a little lemon juice. And you saute that shit. You thicken it up real good, and you toss the shrimp and the broccolini in there. And dude, I'm telling you, man, like I could talk for the rest of the podcast honestly about food. We don't even need to talk about video games tonight, boys. Like we can just. I feel like we could just talk about food. CJ, what'd you have for dinner?
I had Little Caesars.
I'm sorry, man. Like
no,
that,
man.
Little Caesars trash.
I got the Call of Duty meal, bro.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on a minute. You got it.
I got the fucking look at that. I got the.
Oh shit, dude.
I'm dedicated. It's my boy Ghost, Mexican icon Ghost.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is just to hear John go off about food like that, but he can't play Overcooked or like make a fucking.
Okay, so no. You know goddamn well. No, Jeff, fuck you.
I don't know
you
what
know,
goes in a pizza.
Jeff, you know goddamn well why I can't play Overcooked. Why I can't talk about Overcooked. Okay,
right,
because Jeff Grubb fucking cheated me on a national stage.
That's what it was.
He cheated on a national, and he knows he cheated. He knows he cheated.
I'll do this. Let's do this. I'm gonna give John props. For his goddamn aside, because that shit was fuego. Legit, like that was, what is it, after like the worst 2 hours of my life in a fucking Spirit flight, going to John's house and eating like one of the greatest meals I ever had. Good shit.
Like so CJ, here's the real question. Did I attain TO status?
No, never.
What, dude? What is that
never.
shit?
That's a sacred bond. I love my uncles. I love my uncles.
Man, that's fucked up, dude. I'm really upset about that. That's sad. Well, while we're waiting for, hope everybody's doing okay tonight. I know that Twitter is kind of a, I don't know, dumpster fire seems too kind.
I love the sinking ship approach that everyone's.
So
it was a dumpster fire when I left it 2 years ago. Like, you need a new term for whatever it is now.
No,
dumpster
so
fire.
Jeff, it's bad.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You need like another term, because that does not capture.
It's bad. No, dude. Like I'm telling you right now. Like you haven't been on in a while.
Telling you, man. Listen, that fake official Nintendo account posting Mario.
Okay, that was funny. That was
all that stuff. I'm like, hey, like
that's funny.
That was funny.
Hold up. The Chiquita banana account. I gotta pull it up.
Wait,
someone
what?
Made a fake. Hold up. This one's so fucking funny. Someone made a fake Chiquita banana account, and they're like, "We apologize to those who have been served a misleading message from a fake Chiquita account. We have not overthrown a government since 1954."
My God.
People are going fucking crazy. I love it. I absolutely adore it. What is it? Like Elon Musk thought $8 was too high a price to stop the trolls. If anything, it just made everyone stronger. $8 is nothing. I am tempted to pay $8 to post Yoda with the gun on an official Star Wars Twitter account.
Apparently, you guys were just a little quieter than me in chat, so I adjusted some volume levels. So hopefully that helps a little bit.
I'm just shy tonight, guys. I'm sorry.
There's no need to be shy, buddy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. But yeah, I think that probably should have fixed any audio issues in chat. John said Rar said John is notably loud. Usual John loudness aside. Well, man, I have absolutely no fucking respect. I get no respect on this podcast at all. But no, Jeff, dude, Twitter's like apparently fucking Musk today was on a call and he was like, we might go bankrupt. Just putting that out there. Twitter employees, like their whole safety team left today. Like their whole safety team just resigned. And they're losing advertisers left and right. And dude, that site's days are numbered. And honestly, it's really sad because I met most of you guys on Twitter. And
it'll be fine. It's not going to go under.
No, it will.
Look, last
Dude, I think it will.
Last second, something he'll sell it for like $8 to someone. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. No. We're all gonna pitch in. We're all gonna buy Twitter like collectively.
Dude, that shit's going down. I guarantee you, it's not gonna last. That shit's gonna die. And maybe it needs to. You know, maybe that's the solution here. Somebody get Brit's ass in here. We're gonna go ahead and start talking about what we've been playing, and then we'll hop into some of our topics tonight. We have a lot of questions to answer from the community as well. So thanks to everyone who submitted a bunch of questions in the podcast chat channel in our Discord. And also, dude, our Discord has had like, I feel like 35, 40 new fucking people in the past 2 days due to the Twitter exodus, so to speak. So bring them on. I want to get us to 500. We're almost at 400. I want to get us to 500. But we'll go ahead and CJ, why don't you kick us off, dude?
Yes.
What you been playing this week? Why don't you tell me about that
so,
Sonic Frontiers?
No, I'm gonna talk about Call of Duty. Hold up. So I wasn't here last week because there was no podcast last week. And it's I think since the last time I was on, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer is launched, and it has become like a full-time job for me at this point. I've put a lot of time into it. It's great. I can't tell you if it's good or bad, actually. It's one of those things where when I play it, I turn my brain off. I know that I'm like regressing mentally every time I play it, but it's sort of like those like sensory videos that you put on for your kid when they so they stop crying. It's like the only thing that'll just like elicit any sort of feeling for me. It's great. Like I'm having fun. Justin and I have been playing a lot. I've been playing with other friends too on other platforms. I don't have like one game. I don't play Destiny. I don't play like any other live service. I know like you guys play Final Fantasy 14 and stuff like that. That's like your thing. You'll always go back to it. Call of Duty is basically it, and I haven't in a while. And it feels good to be back in that ecosystem again. I'm fucking dedicated to the point where I bought the fucking Little Caesars meal to get my
really
fucking double XP. I need that double XP. I'm like a level away from the cap before the first season starts. But yeah, that's really everything of note that I've been playing. Hold up, let me take a sip. There's been nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else of note that I've been playing. Nothing. Okay, so the actual game, the big one. I finally got my fucking Sonic Frontiers code.
How long were you waiting? How long were you waiting for that?
Well, I was told I'd get it later than most, but I didn't think I'd get it launch day, which is weird. But I got it when did it launch? Launched on Tuesday. I got it. I put about 6 hours into it since then, just because I've been working. The short end, the shortest possible way I can say this. It's great. It's everything I wanted. It's like it's the best Sonic game by Sonic Team because Mania doesn't count because that's a third party team. It's the best Sonic Team game we've played or that's been released in like since Generations, I think.
To be fair, that's a low bar.
No. There's a lot of good gems, especially in the 3D era. But even past that, it's like the first time I've truly like felt a true love and a true connection to the series since like I played Sonic Heroes for the first time when I was 6, and I love it. It's the open world stuff works well. It's not necessarily a big open world. It's just big open-ended like hub areas that you run around. So I'm in the second world now. So it's
more like Mario Odyssey.
This is Sonic's big Mario Odyssey moment, right? So like the first time you play Mario Odyssey and you kind of jump around in that world and you feel like the way the movement is, it sort of clicks. My best comparison is, you know how if you drop Spider-Man or Batman in like an Assassin's Creed style world, it elevates that sort of open world game, right? Sure. Just the movement alone. Right. So you swing around a Spider-Man, running as Sonic in like a big open field feels good. Like they nailed that sort of like they approach this the same way you approach a superhero game. Sonic's main form of movement is just running incredibly fast. So just running and clearing these fields or shallow surface, shallow bits of water, incredible. The actual world design, yeah, there's a lot of like the standard open world stuff. You got to clear parts of the map, you got to complete some missions before you can progress, but it plays more like a collectathon, right? You collect a certain amount of keys, you unlock the Chaos Emeralds, and you fight whatever that level's bosses. Then you move on to the next point. You rescue your friends, you do a couple of side missions. In between that, there's like traditional boost levels where you're just running towards the goal and you got to complete certain thresholds, like get the S rank time, get the red rings, get a certain amount of rings before you progress, and things like that. So it takes the best bits of a lot of other Sonic games and mushes it together. The main thing that I love is it doesn't necessarily pull from other Sonic games. Like, in an attempt to nostalgia bait, you always thought Mario and Sonic were like the worst at that. Where it's like they always want to shove in your face, "Hey, do you remember that game you played when you were like, when you were young? Did you like that?" So that's why it kind of gets the notch above something like Generations. It's not pulling from games I like. It's easy to get me like emotional if you put music from Sonic Heroes in a game. Here, they completely create a new vibe that pulls from them, but not necessarily references them. There's a song in the first boost segment, which they call here cyber chase, where when you're running, it sounds like it belonged on like Sonic R, and that it nails that mood so damn well. The best way I can describe this is it's what Sonic 06 or Sonic Adventure 3 should have been. Like, this is finally their ambition like paying off in a way. It's I don't know. I genuinely love it. My only real complaint so far is I think it's a selfish thought. I don't think it should have released on Switch, because you could tell like they're trying to make concessions to scale it to that console. So even on PS5, there's some rough visual stuff. Like,
have you seen it on the Switch? Have you seen it on the Switch?
I've seen. I haven't seen. Dude. That's my thing. So I get it. You can't release a game like this and not have it on. Obviously, it's like it's the audience. It's a perfect audience. It's not as like egregious. It's not as bad as like when they were developing Sonic 06 and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna develop this for the Wii," and they realize that the Wii is like you can't compare that to the PS3 or 360. The Switch is comparable to like at some level it's comparable like to the current consoles, or at least last gen consoles. But damn, it's such a shame, because if this game was exclusive to more powerful hardware, it would look so much better. But as it is, it runs fine. The art style is great. The story is one like it's actually like they tried. I don't know. I'm just happy. It feels good to like play like a great Sonic game at launch.
That's what matters to me, man. If you're happy with it, that's all I care about.
What?
I was gonna say, CJ, like, someone who's I played a little bit of Generations and a little bit of Colors Ultimate, and that's like my maybe an hour or two tops. That's my experience with Sonic. So I'm just curious, like, there's so many opinions on Sonic games, and people love some of them and others hate the same game. Like, I'm curious when people talk about like 3D Sonic games, what makes a good 3D Sonic game versus a bad, like, what's like,
okay, so
what's the differentiator there? So, like, the controls, is that the world is like, what makes a good or bad 3D Sonic game?
Brit's muted. She's still muted.
You're still muted.
Jeff, keep going. Sorry, buddy.
No, that was it. That was my question.
I don't know. So look, here's my thing. I don't think I would like Sonic as much now as if I didn't play when I was younger.
Hey, can you hear me?
There you are.
Yes, we can.
Wow, way to interrupt, CJ.
No, the difference is you can make a penis. You can make a penis as Sonic.
Oh yeah, you can draw a penis. Okay, so Sonic has this ability. Hold up, where you can draw a line in the ground, and if you close like a circle, rings will pop out from the ground or other collectibles, right? Or you can solve puzzles like that. So obviously when the game leaked, the first thing that if any game has any sort of creative feature in it, the first thing that anyone will do is obviously make a human penis somehow in the in a game. So obviously there's like videos of people just drawing on the ground like a dick. So obviously the first thing I did when I got the ability was do the same thing, got my rings and everything.
What else would you do?
Jeff, oh sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just so he's anthropomorphic. Does Sonic have a human-looking penis?
No, he probably has a hedgehog-style penis. I don't know how
we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
And of all the we're not talking about Sonic and dicks, because I'm not going to go through that.
I'm just
We're gonna
asking the
get some.
fucking
You did.
questions.
You just
We're gonna get some
did.
bad chats. We're gonna get some bad chat. Anyway, Jeff, to answer your question, 3D Sonic games are weird because there's like very distinct eras of them. So it's like you got the adventure games, which are a little bit slower paced and they're about exploration. You have the boost era, which is all about running in a straight line, just getting to the end, and then replaying those levels to get all like the other paths. And then you have this, which is basically an amalgamation of both, where you get this large Ubisoft-esque open world where you got to clear the map and just do side quests, but it also plays like a regular collectathon where you got to collect a certain number of whatever fucking MacGuffin you have for like whatever character, and then you move on to the next one. But then you have the boost levels. You have like these short levels where you just run towards the end, right? I can't tell you what makes a good 3D Sonic game. This is just it. You get what I'm saying? This just feels like the best example of like what to do, I guess. It feels like for the first time Sonic Team had like money and a true vision and were really tinkering with this. I think they took a lot of the criticisms of the previews to heart, and they're like, all right, you know, how do we retool? I don't know. It just feels right. You get what I'm saying? Because it doesn't necessarily fit into the mold of the other style of games. I never liked Adventure 1 or 2 growing up. If I went back and played Heroes now, I would probably hate it just because it probably hasn't aged that well. I could play Generations now. I can't play those 2D segments because they don't feel right. The weight's off because I played Mania first and that poisoned my brain. Mania is just a perfect game. So it's hard for me to kind of like tell you what's a great Sonic game and what isn't. I spent back in July or June, I reviewed the Sonic Origins collection, and I spent like 10 hours playing a bunch of 2D Sonic games. So again, I couldn't tell you. All I could tell you is like Frontiers is probably the peak of the series so far.
The other thing I wasn't prepared for is I heard that was the new song "Undefeatable" or whatever off the OST. I was like, man,
holy shit!
I was not prepared for how fucking hard Sonic goes on the music.
Okay,
was that clip you posted with the boss fight music?
Dude,
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they got the God of War style boss fights with the quick time events and everything like that. Sonic doing the fucking like anime
coming down from the air like slow motion punch.
And exploding, yeah. Oh, incredible! The music in this game, like every Sonic game has a good music. Sonic 06, one of the worst games ever made, has one of the greatest theme songs ever.
I was like, what is he gonna say about Sonic 06?
It's his world, featuring the fucking lead singer of Zebrahead. Incredible fucking song. This one has a lot of good tracks. The ending theme is really good because they released it a while ago. The Undefeatable is incredible because that's the first boss fight. That's the first fucking boss fight, and they're treating it like the final boss fight. The actual Cyber Chase music is incredible. I forgot what the name of the DJ is that they credited, but again, because it hits like a lot of those 90s like aesthetics. But yeah, I can talk about Sonic Frontiers all the time. I guess the main point is like it's good. I'm happy. Like I finally got my good Sonic game. I'm finally able to play it.
That's
so
fantastic.
Happy for you, man.
Me too. I am really happy for you too. I just want to point out. So I looked up a hedgehog penis. Interesting science.
Oh my god!
It looks like a kidney bean. That's what it looks like, and it also
You just ruined chili for me. Thank you for that.
It also took me to this. It took me to this.
Thank God I just finished live.
Sonic's favorite food is chili dogs. Yeah.
It took me to this veterinarian forum where this person was asking for help about her hedgehog. She was like, "It's got this bump on its belly, and I keep poking it. I don't know what to do." And the vet was like, "That's its dick." So apparently, if your hedgehog has a bump on its belly, it's a boy. Mazel tov. Britt, what you been playing?
Oh, this is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good one.
It's you joined the podcast. I invited you on, and you joined. You were like, "I want to be part of this shit."
Can I wait before you talk about how it wonder? Can I interrupt with a quick aside? About what the game you're gonna bring up.
Sure.
Racing its praises. I had a great gaming week. We had Modern Warfare 2 is great, Sonic's great. So I thought, hat trick, let's try out God of War. Wasn't gonna play it initially. I'm ready. Shit almost bricked my console because it took too fucking long to do the fucking sync, the cloud sync. It just took forever. It crashed, and I was waiting on that fucking safe reset screen for like 45 minutes.
Is that on your PS4?
That was my PS5.
What? What?
No,
Damn.
no,
Crazy.
I was because God of War is the only thing to do it. I think it just heard my PlayStation heard me talking shit all week, and they're like, I'm not gonna play that shit. I downloaded off my cousin's account, and then it finally decided, you know what, fuck you, we're gonna kill your PlayStation. Kill your PlayStation. Anyway, go ahead, Britt.
So speaking of killing, or murders, I should let's boys,
Speaking
let's
of
talk
murder.
about God of War real quick.
I would real quick. I want to talk about this extensively because I've been playing it too.
Murder, murder, murder.
Game's good. Game's very good. It's been a while since, and we're coming towards the end of the year, right? So I'm going over in my head like, what are my games of this year? And I already know what one is. And God of War, I'm just like, I love it so much.
Can't believe Super Monkey Ball 2 is your second favorite game of the year, Britt. That's
I
incredible.
love it so freaking much.
So, Britt, who's the hotter daddy? Is it Thor or Kratos?
Thor.
It's Thor.
It's Thor. It's Thor. You know why? Because you know, he's a man with a plan, right? And that plan is to drink, eat, and what I'm assuming is obviously fuck and fight, right?
I mean, that's obviously
know,
what Thor lives for in this game.
like you know that he is just like just based on looking at him, like you immediately know what type of character he is, and it's fucking fantastic.
I have been saying
right?
for years that us big, thick guys with beards and hammers,
you're not on Thor's level. You don't have the Asgard ale belly, right? Like you don't got that going for you. Thor though,
Man,
Thor
finally.
Thor has that going for him. And it's great to see that kind of representation, just because like you don't gotta be your shape, John, to show that you're fit. You can be big and also be muscly. And it's like, speaking of that, it's funny because you know, Atreus says something in the game. He's like, how do I look like a god like you do? And Kratos is like, you train. And he's like, that's all we do is train. And Kratos is like, no. You if you want to be a god, you gotta look the part of a god. You have to work for it. It's not gonna just come to you.
Thor's like, fuck that.
Like, it was just a good fucking scene to just like acknowledge, like, yeah, if you want to look beefy, like you can, you just gotta fucking, work for it. This game has been like,
It's
this year has not been a great year for me. And I can't tell, like, genuinely, this is the happiest I've been in so long playing this fucking game. I loved the first God of War, and it, like, I didn't play it when it initially came out. I've never played a God of War game until God of War 2018. And, I was trying to think of something to stream, and I was like, oh, people like God of War, like, that'll be fun. I'll be terrible at it, and people will watch me for that. And then I played the game for about 2 hours, and I never fucking streamed it again because I wanted to experience it on my own.
You wanted to selfishly keep it to yourself.
Right, I wanted to allow myself to get completely absorbed in this world, and it's... Jeff, are you drinking wine out of a mug?
Fuck's sakes.
What's wrong with that?
You said I could drink whatever I want.
I'm just clarifying. Is that what I saw?
Britt, you missed it. I drank fucking Mountain Dew out of the Sonic mug.
Oh.
It is not a mug. It is just a, like, low glass.
That's fine. I do that all the time.
I'll drink wine out of a fucking pint glass. You know what? The delivery system doesn't matter. It's all going to the same place.
I'll drink it straight from the fucking bottle.
I'll drink that shit.
I'm never drinking on this podcast again. I swear.
No,
Jeff,
don't ever say that. Hold up,
Jeff. Don't
ever say you won't drink. Are you kidding me?
Don't you ever fucking say that, Jeff.
No,
never.
No.
It's like,
I'm sorry.
It's like Billy It's like Billy Madison. Don't ever say that. Don't you ever say that.
Ruthless aggression in here. Absolutely. I just asked you a question. Fuck.
We're all like, Jeff.
You almost turned a man.
I haven't drank all week. I'm a little on edge.
What does that say about our friendship? Our like Jeff, don't ever stop drinking. Don't
That's what
ever
I'm saying.
stop
Brit,
drinking,
Brit
Jeff.
almost turned a man away from drinking, my boy.
Like-
He was about to go dry. No,
I didn't do
Brit, come on.
I asked a question.
There was an
Okay.
inflection there.
No, I was just like, I saw you sip, and I wanted to confirm because I was like,
Okay.
anyway. So
I'm drinking wine.
This is the like, and it sounds cheesy to say, but this is the best thing to happen to me in so long. I haven't been able to really play story-driven games just because I don't have the mental capacity to sit down and just fucking dedicate. And like my mind's too busy. It's going all the time. So when I sit down to play a single player game, it's really fucking hard for me. So that's why I stick to like multiplayer games, to like Dreamlight Valley, just things that I can do that don't take a lot of brain power. And I've been doing that for the better half of 2 years. So to finally just have a game that fucking just takes me and just like completely pulls me in almost right from the get-go is so refreshing, and it just feels so good to play a game and be happy again, and just like lose myself in it completely, right? Like it's been the best thing. Like I said, I didn't play God of War 2018 when it first came out, and this one I was at the store at midnight fucking buying the game because I'm old and I don't like digital. I want to physically hold something I love in my hands.
Like Thor.
Very much like, thank you. I appreciate that. That was a good assist. I like that. That was like an alley-oop.
Yeah.
But it's just like the combat is fucking fun. Like it's funny, just like I haven't played the game in years, and it's funny just how much muscle memory is settled in. But I will say I've also been playing Harvestella. Thank you, Square. And it's really jarring going back and forth between the two because
kind of different vibes there.
Hey, Britt, quick question, because I didn't watch your stream, but I want to know. Okay, so this game, it's 100%. I don't watch video game streamers. Anyway, I'm gonna start streaming soon. What I want to know is this game, how structured is it compared to other sims? Like, if I don't necessarily care for like the sort of hands-off approach a lot of sim games like is this good for someone? Is there like enough to kind of guide me through it to like for me to enjoy it?
Harvestella?
Yeah. Am I gonna fucking hate it if I really don't like it?
I don't. So do you like story-driven games? Because I feel like it's more story, at least in the first.
If it's like story, whatever. But if it's like an action, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I know it's like, yeah, basically, yeah.
So it's more story-driven than it is, I think, farming. I think when as you progress, and Jeff can confirm this for me, I think if you progress further, farming becomes more of something you do. But as far as like in the beginning of the game, you just kind of have to crank through story before you can get into the simulation part of it, and which is like good and bad, right? Because like I'm just like, I just want to farm some crops, and all of like there's a fucking apocalypse or something happening right now, and it's
and you've only got until 6 p.m. to get those carrots.
Yeah,
so is it basically like a Final Fantasy level threat, but in a farming like sim? Is that what it is?
Essentially. So it's like, what did it remind me of? It reminded me of something. I was like, man, this is just the story of such and such. Anyway, it's very good. I like it a lot. I'm not saying all this to be a negative towards it, because I do really, really enjoy it. It's just not what I expected. I'm used to my farming sims not having story to go off of. So the fact that this is so story heavy, I think it just kind of threw me off, but not in a bad way. Just like oh, okay, so I have to go through this in order to unlock more farming. But like I said, Jeff can probably confirm or deny that.
So, no, Jeff, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, I'll talk about Harvestella because that's pretty much all I've been playing. It's only the second new game I played this year after Gran Turismo in March. So it's been a long ass fucking time. Like I played last month,
mine was Horizon.
Two peak games right there.
It's definitely not my God of War. You know, it's not consuming my every thought. The last game to do that probably was Death Stranding a couple years ago. It's the only game in the pandemic era I've really gotten invested in. So I'm waiting for the next one. But Harvest Cell was good. CJ, it reminds me, like, you talk about 6 out of 10 games, like this is a 6 out of 10 ass game in a good way.
Don't
Like,
tell me.
and, you know, and I'm not like one of those people like 6 out of 10's like horrible. Like that's a decent game.
Oh
right?
no, dude.
Honestly, it might be closer to a 7. Like, it's a good game. It's not a AAA game. It's like I've talked about on the podcast before. Like, I miss the days of like kind of medium low budget AA games.
The budget game.
It's simple. It looks nice. Like, technically, it's not pushing boundaries. There's no ray tracing. You know, the ambient occlusion, the text, like whatever. Like,
the character
Digital Foundry's
is
not
flawless.
Yeah, I'm playing on PC. It runs great. I'm playing it at 4K, which I can never do on my rig because it's kind of a mid-range PC at this point. Runs great, looks great. It's clean. The art style is fantastic. It's really vibrant, which, like, for this kind of game, it just makes you enjoy being in that world when everything's really pretty. Versus, you know, like one of those drab-ass PS3 brown gray game. Like, it's just nice to exist in the world. But yeah, like Britt said, honestly, you know, I'm 15 hours in now. I want to say I'm probably approaching halfway through. So I've seen quite a bit of it. It's a JRPG with a little bit of farming in it. And yeah, like maybe the end game is farming because I looked at the achievements and there's some fucking crazy achievements like harvest 100,000 crops or something like that. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm harvesting 5 a day.
The farming is like an afterthought, though, right? Like,
well, now I wouldn't say it's an afterthought. It's just like it
just
definitely feels like it doesn't feel like the focus. Like Britt said, it's like a JRPG. There's a story. There's lots of side quests. You're dungeoning. That's because that's the primary method you like farm for ingredients.
It wouldn't be so bad if it didn't feel like they duped me. You know, like they advertised
I looked
as
it up.
this farming sim game.
I looked it up and I was like, you know, because I basically bought it because I didn't know anything about it. Just everyone was like, this seems like a Jeff game. I was like, I'll just buy it. I didn't even look up a trailer for it. And I was like, maybe I had this all wrong. In my head, I thought it was a farming game. I looked up the press. There's like a press kit release from Square Enix, like to the media, and it's like Square Enix releases farming simulation harvest. I'm like, okay, so it wasn't just me.
No.
Yeah.
Like I said, it wouldn't like it's not bad. I just don't like that it was presented to me as
it means farming as in like grinding for XP. That's
that's
what they mean.
So. But I really do think they're just doling it out very slowly. Because, like I said, I looked at the achievements. I looked at some of the in-game stuff. Like, there's recipes you can get money for cooking and delivering. And, like, I've done a lot of stuff, and I haven't even found, like, 80% of the ingredients yet. I think it's a really slow ramp up to, like, unlocking all the farming tools. There's, you can upgrade your farm to, like, have different kinds of livestock. So you get a type of like cow, basically whatever the in-game version of a cow is that makes milk, and then you convert it to cheese, because that's how that works. Yeah, but yeah, like it's good. It's like it's really weird. It feels like they just took a bunch of JRPG. I don't play a lot of JRPGs recently, but it feels like they took a bunch of tropes and put them into like a little random generator. That feels like there's like time travel, and then there's like sad backstories. Honestly. My favorite part is the side quest. I just did one where a bunch of people are disappearing from a village, and you find out that it's because some 100 or 300-year-old soldier has been kidnapping them to try and cure their seasonal allergies. And he sends you out to get antihistamines because he's sick of seeing people suffer and sneeze all the time, and he just wants them to feel better. So he spent hundreds of years. He spent his whole life dedicated to cure. Like, it's so fucking stupid. And then on Brit's stream, you got like Professor Unicorn and stuff. Like, just some of the stuff out of the blue.
Best fucking character.
And then later on, there's a unicorn forest you can go to, and I don't know, maybe it gets explained later on the map. There's a place called Unicorn Forest, and you go there, and it's just that unicorn, and he's just hanging out there. And there's like no context, like there's nothing to do there. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I gotta play this, man.
Yeah, it's like it's a weird game so far, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's like I said, it's just pretty charming, and but yeah, I think everything feels a little bit underbaked. Sorry, I'll wrap up quickly here. I'm just going on,
you're
but
good.
Take your time. Buddy.
Yeah, it's like, you know, again, like the farming stuff. Again, I'm being very clear. Like right now, maybe it gets crazy later. It feels very simple. The combat feels simple, which I like because I'm like, I've talked about it before. I was in this mostly for the farming, and I get really overwhelmed now in games when it's like even when I played Spider-Man on PS4 and there's like 30 skills to unlock, and they'll have different button combinations. And then there's 10 branching skill trees, but you can only spend points in certain ones, and depending on what you put in the skill tree determines how they like. I just get so stressed out with this stuff, so I appreciate it that it's simple, where it's like you basically wander around the overworld and there's enemies and you mash X to hit them. Sometimes you hold the right trigger and you do a special ability, and that's like it. That's all there is to it, and you level up. And you have party members, but as far as I can tell, you can't even manage them. You can only manage your own equipment and stuff like that. So, like, I appreciate
you can buy abilities for other characters.
Yeah, that's
Weapons.
true.
So it sounds like it's more of a streamlined JRPG with farming elements than it is like a farming sim.
Yeah, that's how I describe it so far.
So do you guys? The one thing that I took away from the demo when I played it, and I know that this is something that they changed, but I've heard people say that the days still pass too quickly.
Oh, absolutely. So for me, it was really frustrating because when I was going through that, like when you go through dungeons, it felt like I was constantly like, all right, like I make maybe 5 minutes into dungeon and I gotta go home and sleep. And then I make 5 minutes into and then I do my farming stuff. I put all my stuff in. I plant some seeds. I check the store to see if I can buy anything. And then I go back out to the dungeon. And again, it's like I get 5 minutes in the dungeon, then I got to go to bed.
See,
and
that
it's
sounds
just
stressful, right? Like,
I think like for everyone's. It's interesting with this stuff in games because everyone has a different play style. So like it might depend on that. For me, I found early on I felt the same way. And then as I got further and like unlocked more stuff and the game got a little bit more flexible and like opens up a bit, you can kind of like it's a little easier when you just say, okay, like this day is like a dungeon day, and like as soon as you get up, you just go to the dungeon to make progress. You can actually get really far there. Or you say like this is just like a farming and town and quest day. But yeah, like when you're trying to do everything at once, it definitely feels like that. And the other thing is like, I don't know if it's satisfying. It's like it doesn't really make it harder. It's just kind of tedious sometimes. Like, what's the point of me having to go back and sleep here? Like when I'm just gonna come back and start this again the next day.
It kind of reminds me of a Persona 5 where you gotta manage your time and just kind of make the most of a day because it'll probably eat up a lot. How far are you, Britt? Did you finish? Did you finish it?
No, so I got about 5 hours in. And then God of War came out, and I have like 10 hours in God of War. So I've been kind of focusing on that.
So I'll go real quick, I guess. If nobody saw, my Tactics Ogre review went live today. Thank you, Square Enix, for giving us opportunity to review that. It's Tactics Ogre. What can I say? It's a classic fucking strategy RPG.
When does that come out?
Tomorrow.
Ooh.
Comes out tomorrow. Fucking buy it. In fact, Britt, Square was nice enough to send me. I've got it on Switch, but they were also nice enough to send me a physical copy on PS5. You can have it if you want it. I'll send it to you. But
physical, you say?
Yes, physical. It is.
I'm interested. That's
okay.
that's my thinking. I'm interested.
I was waiting for the follow up. Britt.
Well, you started talking again, and I was like, I don't want to interrupt him.
I was waiting for
talk to the non JRPG, the non strategy, because I'm genuinely intrigued.
So Tactics Ogre is a game that first came out in 1995 on the Super Nintendo. Well, the Famicom. It never was localized. Then it was ported to the Saturn, and then it was finally localized on the PlayStation in 1998. And then it was remade for the PSP in 2010, and now it has been released once more on modern consoles. Tactics Ogre is I would say the spiritual precursor to Final Fantasy Tactics. It's by the exact same team, the exact same team, and you'll see if you played Tactics but you never played Tactics Ogre, then the minute you fire it up, you'll see Final Fantasy Tactics DNA all over the place. In fact, there are plenty of Tactics Ogre references in Final Fantasy 14, Britt, if you didn't know that. Lots of them, actually.
Really?
Yep, because that's one of Yoshi P's favorite games.
Well, it's funny because there's a lot of Final Fantasy 12 shit in there too.
Yep, and Tactics Ogre is just an absolute classic game, and it's reviewing great. I think it's got like a 89 on Metacritic right now, and it should. It's it's the absolute best version of a timeless classic, and I am so happy that that modern audiences are giving this is getting a second chance at life with modern audiences. Go play it, pick it up, go play it, because the ending of this game screams sequel. all the Tactics Ogre games and Ogre Battle games are all set in the same universe. A lot of them use the same characters, and I've been waiting for 20 years to see how this a little under 20 years to see how the story continues, and I would love to see it continue. So Tactics Ogre is an absolute gem. Also very difficult, very difficult.
Well then maybe I don't want to.
Like XCOM levels of difficult in some areas.
Oh.
But the cool thing about this game, it's also extremely replayable. There are 3 different routes: the law, chaos, and neutral routes, and none of these routes go the way you expect them to. And once you beat it, you enter what's called Coda, which was DLC in Japan for the PSP version, but it was just included in the US version. Coda is this huge post-game. It's like a ton of post-game story, a ton of post-game stuff, and they also have the World Tarot system where after you beat it, you can go back to any point in the story with the characters and levels you have now, make different choices at any point, and play through to see what's different. So you don't have to start a new game from scratch to see what the other routes entail. It's just a wonderful game. The other game I've been playing obviously is God of War. I've been playing God of War since it came out yesterday, and boy oh boy, what a fucking game, man! This shit rules. I just got to Nidavellir, which is the town of the dwarves, and man, like, oof, this has got to be one of the prettiest fucking games I have ever seen in my entire life. It's just
pretty. I just found that Horizon was prettier.
I will say this though, having watched The West Wing, it's weird hearing and seeing Richard Schiff as Odin, because all I see and hear is his character on The West Wing, walking around.
Wait, who does he play? Who does he play?
He's Odin.
I haven't looked up anything.
If you look up Richard Schiff, and you'll know exactly who he is. He's a prolific character actor. They also based Odin's face on him. So
They usually do, yeah.
So all I see when Odin is walking around talking is just Richard Schiff's character. He's like the director of comms or something in the White House on the West Wing, and that's all I see and hear. It's so fucking weird. But aside from that, God of War is and what was funny to me were people complaining that Odin and Thor.
So just in case people are mad about spoilers, that happens within the first like 20 minutes of the game.
Not even that, like maybe the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, shocker, Odin's in the game.
What?
I know this is gonna come as a big surprise to some people. But what's funny to me were the people who were complaining about how Thor and Odin don't look like. They're like, why don't they look like Chris Hemsworth and and it's like, guys, there's a difference between.
We've got a game for you. It's called Square Enix Marvel Avengers.
It's like there's a difference between the MCU and actual Norse mythology.
Take another sip. You're sassy when you drink wine.
Those characters look nothing like Chris Hemsworth. That looks like the fucking Dollar Tree version of Chris
like
Hemsworth.
I always thought that Thor in Marvel's The Avengers game looked like Buddy Christ from Dogma. Walking around in armor wearing a hammer. Like he does. He looks like Buddy Christ.
He does. And then Captain America looks like budget BJ Blazkowicz.
Yeah, dude, Thor looks like Jesus's face on the
BJ Blazkowicz.
Like, dude, he looks like
great.
he looks like Jesus's face on the Shroud of Turin. Like
that
that's
game
what
makes the Lego games look like the actual movie.
So I've actually got a question for Britt.
Okay.
I got a question for Britt about God of War. Do you think at some point, and I think the answer to this is no, but do you think at some point in the game we're going to get to wield Mjolnir?
I don't know.
I say no because I feel like the Leviathan axe is just too similar already.
Maybe. No, I don't think so. I think
you can't
Thor's
hammer a nail with an axe, John. They're not similar at all.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't think so.
You don't think we're gonna get to wield Mjolnir?
I don't think so. I think they're gonna keep Thor around for a while. I don't think Thor's gonna be like the bolder spoilers for the first God of War game. I don't think he's going to be the Boulder of this game.
See, I'm only at Nidavellir, so like who knows? But I've got a sense that like a lot of people have been saying, man, it's clear we're going to wield Mjolnir, and I'm like, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Like I don't, because like in the game it's very clear, and again, like this happens within the first 10 minutes. It's very clear that that Kratos can't lift Mjolnir. Like that's made abundantly clear when you're, in a certain situation, and I just don't see how they're gonna do that.
Kratos gets a gun.
The Kratos gets a gun.
The Gats of Chaos.
The Cats of Chaos. Jesus Christ. They're on chains. He's just whipping like gun kata. He's just whipping them around. Yeah. Boy.
They do the bad boys. They do the bad boys like camera pose.
It's Kratos is on the phone, and Atreus asks him what's up, and he's like, shit just got real. Like
they just shoot every Norse god.
Yeah. Like, how do you not remember Boulder?
I don't think I've
You
tried
don't
to
remember
tell
Baldur?
people this. I don't think people realize I completely forget.
He's the
stuff that I watch and play.
neo-Nazi who shows up at your house at the beginning of the game.
Okay, first of all, like I don't want like re-spoilers because like I'm actually excited to like play it for the first time again. But yeah, like I play a game and like
I just spoiled it for you then.
I know. I'll forgive you. It's okay.
You'll forget about it.
I'll forget about it by tomorrow. But like yeah, like I don't know what it is, man. Like most stuff, I have like I don't remember a single fucking thing 6 months later.
I guess it's just because the game is so like usually I'm the same way, but because I fucking loved this game, and it's such
you know how much I love Red Dead 2, and like aside from like fucking Dutch screaming about a plan, and I remember Lemmy and Arthur getting drunk.
Okay, you know what's funny?
I don't remember a thing from that game.
Jeff, you're like, I have such a bad memory. I can't remember anything, but you could quote every single Simpsons fucking episode.
Yeah.
Okay,
I can't explain.
Hold up.
That's true.
I can't
That's
explain the human
gotcha.
brain.
That's different. That's different. All
It
right.
is
I
not.
can't remember a damn thing about anything, but man, you give me a fucking word, I'll associate it with any fucking Simpsons quote. All right, our fucking chat in the SDGC Discord is fucking full of all these screenshots I post from Freakiac because I just associated one word. The fucking wine one was the one that got.
So
it's funny because like just coming back and like me doing all these Simpsons references and being like, I don't have CJ or Jeff here to back me up.
Oh no, I was watching The Simpsons with
appreciate.
I was watching The Simpsons with Christine, and then she was like, I kept just saying the quotes before they happened. She's like, how the fuck do you remember all this shit? Because I was showing her the one with Burns' son. I'm just like, who the hell am I talking to?
I asked my friend if I could borrow a feeling, and he just looked at me like I was a fucking idiot.
You fucking
Sorry.
You fucking.
John's looking at us like we're all a bunch of idiots.
You are all a bunch of idiots. That's why I love you.
We're all basement people. It's fine. They'll never know.
Yeah, John's not basement folk. He shouldn't be here.
Wait, what? I'm a podcasting gamer. Of course, I'm basement folk. Like
no.
You don't even know the joke.
All right, no.
You know what? You know what? The fucking good night, everybody. We're done here. I'm fucking ending the podcast. No, I'm really loving my time with God of War. It's an absolutely phenomenal game. Nothing's gonna top Live Alive as my game of the year. I'll tell you that right now. But this is an absolute phenomenal game. Great shit. Let's go ahead and jump into our big topic tonight, and then we will answer the plethora of Discord questions that we have. So, and I am quoting from an IGN article written by our very, very good friend and former podcast mate, Rebecca Valentine, over at IGN, award-winning news reporter and journalist. She does a lot of investigative work, and she is just a fantastic all-around person. So
sorry, John. I just reminded me real quick. I just remembered that someone used to give us shit on Twitter because we claimed to be an award-winning podcast, but they couldn't find any awards.
I remember that. I remember that. We were like, yeah, come see our award-winning podcast. And somebody was actually DMing the podcast, like
show me the awards.
You guys are a bunch of fucking liars. I can't find any awards. You're it's like, my man, dude, calm down. It's not that serious, man. And they're like, you're pretending to be something you're not, which is
valor.
Which is stolen. You're stealing You're stealing gaming valor, and it's like. Dude, calm down,
you guys should in the description. You guys should put Pulitzer-winning podcast.
I remember when I wrote that White Phosphorus Call of Duty article that didn't make anyone angry, and I had people.
That was a good week.
Like I had to put in my bio like not a journalist, guys, not a journalist, and but like I got like a whole Reddit thread dedicated to that cuck John Phipps, that journalist, and like. And it's just that like yeah. So,
I can't believe you canceled Call of Duty.
And you said that. So hello, new viewer.
Yeah,
I can't believe you canceled Call of Duty, John. You're the reason why I'm totally not playing Modern Warfare 2 right now. Damn.
Yeah. Oh shit. We're getting rated by our good friend, our very good friend, Josh Fagundes and Orion, who recorded my. Tactics Ogre review with me. So thank you, Josh, for being there in a critical moment. But yeah, so Josh is like, oh, perfect, just in time for John slander. I'm always, he says, John actually outlawed video games and he'll do it again. Don't trust this fucking guy. I will absolutely outlaw video games. And
do it, John. Free me from this hell. I'm playing
I'll be happy to fucking do it. All right, Doom Eternal. So quoting from Reb's IGN article, Doom Eternal composer alleges unpaid wages and abuse and lengthy soundtrack controversy response. 2 years after controversy over Doom Eternal soundtrack mixing highlighted a behind-the-scenes conflict between the game's developers and composer Mick Gordon, Gordon is finally speaking out. In a lengthy post on Medium, Gordon has offered his side of the conflict over Doom Eternal with an account that includes allegations that id Software failed to pay him for half the game's soundtrack and that executive producer Marty Stratton was a recurringly abusive presence throughout his work on the score and the OST. Skipping down here a little bit, he begins by describing being given tight deadlines for final versions of his promised musical tracks, 2 finished pieces of level music per month. However, he says he lacked direction as to what kind of levels or environments those tracks were meant to cover due to constant development changes and missed milestones. Gordon then claims he proposed an alternative scheduling plan to management that would allow him to write broader, reusable themes first that could then be shaped into specific final versions as levels were hammered out, but says that Stratton struck it down. This resulted, Gordon claims, in severe crunch for him as he worked late nights finalizing music for levels that hadn't been designed yet, only for that music to be thrown out later when it didn't fit the levels made after the fact.
Real quick, John, I think it's important to note that he wasn't paid for his time in music that got thrown away.
11 months.
Sleep, and he slept in his office. The studio. That's all like detailed.
They essentially stole his work.
I really recommend people read the Medium article because
his first person account of it.
The other articles they sum it, but there's so much awful shit in here. Like John said, other people taking credit for the music, even though they trashed his tracks, the quality. But there's even one section that it's far from the worst thing in there, but it's so petty. He was really excited to get awards for the music. I think he mentioned from the Game Awards, for the best OST or best soundtrack. He got to see them once through a glass window in the id Software office. They didn't let him touch them. They never offered to give him one. They basically disallowed him from accepting it, and Marty insisted on accepting it himself. Just the pettiest fucking shit, man.
Well, and I want to make it very clear, and Mick Gordon has made it very clear, he is not going after the actual dev team behind Doom Eternal. And there was a big push to review bomb Doom Eternal and to boycott Doom, and Mick was like, no, this has nothing to do with the hardworking people who actually made this game. This is a leadership thing.
In his account, he even mentioned that he felt because there was a huge part of it about the crunch that the actual devs kind of dealt with, and that because what the release, it was supposed to release in November of 2019, but then Bethesda wanted to push it back because they didn't want a repeat of Fallout 76, so they weren't ready to ship it. He included a huge segment of just him talking about how again, like he understood that the development was not far along enough, so like he felt for these devs as well.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy because Marty, he's the bad guy, right?
Marty, yeah, he's the villain.
Yes. Marty also basically tried to pay 3 figures to basically shut Mick up, and that's it all says it in his Medium article. He that's essentially what he started with. He's like, like the truth is more important than money. Um, so he lost a lot of money to fucking basically out the story, and that's something I think a lot of people wouldn't do. So I feel like that's worth mentioning and just kind of giving props for, is that we deal with such toxicity. Well, not we, but the gaming industry just deals with such toxicity among just the work environments and stuff like that. So the fact that he was able to stand up and do something and say something is just wonderful and incredible. So good for him for not accepting the money.
And you know, I'm looking at this. I'm reading this, and I've met Pete Hines, right? Like I've met him. He's a nice guy. He's one of the heads over at TakeThis.org, which is an organization that means a lot to me. I would like to think that Pete Hines had no knowledge of this or role in this, but I don't know whether or not I can believe that, because
there was more than just Marty involved with this. One person can't.
Yeah.
There's no way. Yeah, there's no way, because Marty is just it's id, right? He's just in charge of id.
He's just in charge of id, I think. Yeah.
So yeah, it had to have been like, you know what I'm saying, like Mick had to have gone through like different channels to like get to, you know what I'm saying, to get to that point. It had to have like started from the top at Bethesda,
which is really disheartening. That's really disheartening, and it sucks for the dev team, because like it or not, whether or not it's fair, they're going to be tied to this, and let's face it, it's not fair, right? Like the actual devs, like the people making Doom, had nothing to do with this. They were subjected to the same kind of crunch, as far as anyone can tell. But they're the ones. Like, let's face it, guys like Marty, he's not going to face any real repercussions for this. This is and Dio made a good point in chat. When he said, the sentiment of don't punish the devs for leadership's failings is good, but consumers also have very limited means by which to make their voices heard when it comes to stuff like this. And so for a lot of people, the only way to protest something is with your wallet, which is, not fair to the devs, but at the same time, what else are people supposed to do in order to make their dissatisfaction
It's the
known?
Blizzard situation all over again.
Yeah.
We talk about all the time, like, there's no good situation as a fan of the property, right? Like,
right.
You're fucking damned no matter what, right? You're either supporting people like Marty, or rewarding them, or people like Bobby Kotick, or you're hurting the dev. Like, it's fucking like, what do you do, right?
And I don't think like, I'm not going to begrudge anyone for boycotting the game. I'm not going to begrudge anyone for not boycotting Bethesda games going forward. It's one of those situations where it's different than the situation happening with the Harry Potter turf game, right? Like, this is different. That's something that was born. That's a game that's being made based on a property that came from the mind of a fucking turf, right? So I will not support that. I don't care how nice the people on the dev team were. I'm just not going to support it. This is different. This is simply corporate bullshit, greed, and bullshit. Right. This is just corporate culture run amok. And it's different.
I thought you were going to say cuck again, and I was like, here we go.
Look, the only reason I said it is because I was called it. Okay, it's the only reason I said it. You guys should see my DMs. I get sent some wild shit. But yeah, like there's this to me is just a different situation than what's happening with the turf game. And what, Britt?
Fucking Josh in chat.
What's he doing? Let me look at
Look.
chat. What's he doing? God damn it, Josh.
What do you say? Because I don't check Twitch.
Jeff, what the fuck? Come on, Jeff.
Relay it to me. Relay it to me, please. Please.
Jeff said culture. Jeff said culture run a cuck. And Josh said corporate cuckture. Oh my god, I hate it.
Oh fuck. Okay,
I hate it. I absolutely fucking hate it.
Wait, hold up, because I gotta get this out. God of War Ragnarok. Okay, go.
No,
wow.
You guys
know what?
Wow, wow.
Dude, okay,
CJ,
I've been
you did
tweeting that for the last 2 weeks since
CJ,
like Britt had to have known. Britt had to have seen that fucking those tweets.
CJ did it.
Hold up.
He did it.
Get the fuck back. I'm gonna tell her. Get the fuck back on. Get the fuck back on the pod. No.
No, here she is. She's coming back.
Bold of you. Hold on.
You've read my tweets.
Read your
Go off,
Twitter.
Brett. Go off.
You bold
Get him,
of you
Brett.
to assume I read your cursed fucking Twitter account.
Or do you? My Twitter's great. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow,
Pulitzer-winning Twitter account.
Pulitzer on the award-winning SDGC
just tweeted
podcast.
Cat Girl Tim Allen. That hasn't gained any traction yet. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for
Oh
it.
my
It's gonna
God.
pop
Tim
up.
Allen?
Cat Girl Tim Allen.
CJ's just popping off his kinks
I'm
now.
popping up. Crap! I wish I had the Tim Allen grunt from Home Improvement on my phone.
You people are so
You
fucked up.
people have
You-
too much money.
What do you mean by that, John? What do you mean by you people?
Oh, shut the fuck up, CJ. Shut the fuck up.
I can do that. I can do that.
God damn it! Like as soon as I said it, I was like, fucking fuck. And I was like, here we go with CJ.
All right, I'm done, guys. I'll
So,
behave.
God, what have you been drinking tonight? Other than what's in that Mountain Dew?
Oh man, I've been drinking some fucking Mountain Dew. It's sponsored by Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
What is it? Has it done anything good for your KD ratio?
No,
No?
I fucking suck at this game.
That's fine.
I was up till 3 a.m. last night finishing today's dailies, so I would have time to play more Sonic Frontiers. Like it's a fucking full-time job for me at this point.
So before we hop into, because we got a ton of questions to answer in Discord. Before we hop into that, where do we think the situation with Mick Gordon and Bethesda is heading? What is the end game here? Because Bethesda has yet to comment on this.
Bethesda's going to hope it goes away, and Mick's hopefully going to restore his reputation, and someone's going to jump on that goodwill he's got going. And I hope, I hope it's like what DC did with James Gunn kind of thing after he was on the rocks a bit with Marvel. Like, I hope someone else sees the talent there and leaps in and gives him another.
Oh yeah, he'll come back with like some indie. Thank you, Brett. He'll come back with some like indie game or something.
Wow.
Bethesda, this is gonna get swept under the rug. Bethesda will be fine, right? They'll stay afloat. It's gonna stay afloat. It'll just be like Activision Blizzard, right? Like nothing's gonna happen fundamentally. This doesn't seem, as bad as it sounds, this doesn't seem on the level of like everything going on with a lot of the other companies, right? Because it's just one individual. If like other major players at Bethesda or id came out and said something, then maybe we'd see some movement. But I feel like Mick got all his stuff out, right? He said what he had to say. He it is clearly the bad guys here. Marty's clearly the bad guy here. He'll get whatever job offers. He has all his goodwill. Everyone's on his side, right? And I think that's the extent of what's going to happen. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that's sort of where we're at with the situation.
And I agree. Like, I think id and Bethesda and Microsoft to an extent are just going to want to move on from it. And I think the whole point of this for Mick was I think he's kind of done. It sounds like he's taking his losses, and this was about restoring his image. And it seems like he's achieved that. I haven't seen anyone against him after reading this, and honestly, I wouldn't want to.
It is funny though, because we just got this after we don't have to go into it, but after the whole Bayonetta 3 like stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's more examples of like shitty pay towards the
difference is he's got fucking receipts.
No, yes, you're right, 100%. But that it's just like it's every week there's a new story about how like someone working for a major video game or
and he didn't sign those NDAs. Think about all the ones we don't hear about because they take the settlement and sign the shit. So good on him for standing up for himself.
Sticking to his gats of chaos, man. Sticking to his guns. All right, we've got a lot of. Britt is so done with our fucking bullshit. So we've got a lot.
It topped off with CJ.
So we have a lot of questions to answer from Discord. I was like, holy shit, wow. So we'll kick it off with our first question from Lerv, and these are all from Discord, which you should join if you're not a member of. Let's get that Discord, Nightbot, and chat going. In the spirit of God of War, what are you the gods of, and are you friend or foe? Britt, I look up, and holy shit.
Oh my god.
Britt,
God of white guilt.
Britt's going
What's
off
the
the
problem?
rails.
Britt,
What's the problem?
Britt, no, Britt, I'm just saying you've got it. This is the one. You got to keep it there. You got to keep it there.
What's the issue?
Nothing at all, Britt. There's fine. What are we the gods of, and are we friend or foe?
Well, what gods are we talking about? We talking about Norse, Greek?
Well, I think just make up a.
It's
what
like
are
your
you the god
title.
of?
Like
yeah,
if Kratos is the god of war,
What are
like
you,
that's
like-
his like title.
like,
I'm the god of white guilt
like.
Fuck.
because I
God
can
of-
makes
weaponize
I'm the
it.
goddess. I'm the goddess of thirst.
I was literally gonna say thirst for you, Britt. I was
Okay.
literally gonna fucking say thirst for
My
you.
brain-
John's the god of gains.
Yeah. No,
There we
that-
go.
Finn would be the god of duck game.
No man, Finn is the fucking god of trolls, man. Fuck that
Yeah.
guy. Fuck
He's the
The god of Dokkan battle.
the god of gotcha. The god of gotcha.
Jeff is the god of Canada.
Yes.
No, I'm
No,
the
Jeff
at this
is
point
bad.
I'm the fucking god of those liver and onion beans, man. Like,
Oh
I-
yeah, dude. Holy
god of
shit.
beans.
I own that shit
You're
now.
the god of beans.
Jeff
god
is the
of
god of
beans,
car
bro.
sickness. Jeff is
Yeah.
Jeff is the god of wine.
Derek's the god of Zilla.
Wow, that's really
good.
fucking terrible,
No,
but
that
also
would be
great.
Justin. I feel like that
Yeah.
would be
Okay, that's both of them. That's
No,
fucking both.
Derek
they're
is
like
Derek
brothers.
is the god of anime bullshit. That's what Derek
It's
is.
too long.
Anime
you can't-
robots.
Derek is the
specifically.
god of
Mecca.
mechs.
God of
Mecca.
Mecca. God
He's
of
the god of
Mecca.
Mecca.
God of
Okay.
Mecca.
god of mech.
Justin is either the god of Zilla or the god of Baja Blast. Who else are we missing? Is that it?
Josh says he's the god of fuck. Is that like
No,
the
you're not.
swear
Gotta
word or
be.
like the actual god of
Yeah, action.
the action? The
No,
act of
he's like the
fucking?
god of fuck, bro. Shut up.
So Britt, are you friend or foe? Is the goddess of thirst a friend or foe, or does it really depend?
So I feel like I have to be a friend because if not, I feel like the god of thirst being a foe would be kind of rapey, and I don't want to do that.
Okay, all right. As the god of gains, I don't think I'm either. I'm just like I'm the god that's over in the corner yelling at you.
You're
to,
a foe to any tire.
Yes,
Get beat
that's
with a fucking
yeah,
hammer. Or
Yeah.
or a foe to any fucking weeds in your in your
absolutely,
yard.
absolutely. CJ, are you a friend or foe? Are you
I'm
a
a fucking
benevolent god?
foe to all white liberals out there. Get the fuck out of my mentions. Get the fuck out of my. Jeff is a god to good taste, unfortunately. A god against good taste, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
I'm a
Fucking
foe for
bean.
sure, man. For everyone out there
Yeah.
who sees a tasty looking cappuccino bean, man, they're gonna.
Who sees
gonna
a
have
cup? Who sees an actual cappuccino and you just know
Yeah.
that shit's gonna taste like liver
Yeah.
and onions.
So all right, so let's get to some more because we have quite a few. 112 in Discord asks, "You're surrounded by 100 monsters. What is your first weapon of choice to survive?"
I would just throw John out. John can deal with them.
You're
Because
my-
John will either say
Wait,
something
would you
fucking
throw John
ridiculous-
to like distract them so they just like?
No, I
Come
feel
on,
like
you
he could take care of him. Like if
Oh,
anything
okay.
bad were to happen, I'd be like, all right, John, go
John,
take care of it.
John, in scientific terms, John is what we call someone with that dog in them. He'll fucking take care of them.
What if they were 100 gorillas? I could absolutely fucking.
Yeah,
I
I
could
think. Okay,
absolutely
I'll give you that.
fucking take
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
My weapon of choice would be a plane. I would just fly away.
I'm not gonna say.
And
that.
fucking,
Jeff is essentially.
I would just take the fuck off. And
Who's
I'm
the
out of there.
helicopter person in Resident Evil?
Oh,
that
that's
Brad?
Vickers. That's
Yeah,
Brad
that's,
Vickers.
Jeff
That's
is just
me.
Brad Vickers.
Brad. God
He
damn it,
has
Brad!
a brutal death in Resident Evil 3, by the way.
I
It
feel
just
like
fucking.
I would just
He,
start.
But eventually-
he got his Cummins.
Brit would throw me out there and say, "John, start talking about Final Fantasy." And
No, because then I'd just be out there with you.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. So
You'd be like, Final
Show off
Fantasy
that
15
picture
is
of you.
great, and I'd be like, wait a minute, and I'd walk out onto the field.
I don't know. I feel like my weapon of choice would probably be
It's your
shit.
fists or sledgehammer.
A sledgehammer. I think a sledgehammer. I think is accurate. I don't know if I could take down 100 monsters with a sledgehammer. I think it depends on the monsters. CJ, what do you like throwing explosive cans of Mountain
Fucking-
Dew? Like, what are you doing?
No, a fucking gun. You guys are fucking gonna die, man. What the fuck? A gun.
CJ's like, I'm just gonna let old Painless out of the bag.
So here's my weapon. I wouldn't have a weapon. I would like just give me fucking Wanda Maximoff powers. Like that That's
Oh,
what I'd have.
okay,
I'd
well,
have
that's cheating
magic.
because then I'd be like, okay, well, give me a Senzu bean, and then I'll fucking Kamehameha and destroy all these monsters in one
That's
second.
fine. That's like your weapon is being a Saiyan.
It's like Super Saiyan.
Your weapon is mine is being a superhero. That's mine is being a mage. A mage in a fantasy setting. That would be mine.
Jeff's gonna domestic terrorize them at the fucking plane, I guess.
Frozen Stick wants to know what's everyone's starter for Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. It's that Fuecoco for me. It's that fire chunky alligator.
Yeah, I was
crocodile.
gonna do the Bubble Bobble alligator, but like all the evolutions leaked and his is not great. I don't like the end one, and so I'm going with Sprigatito, the cat one.
If I buy this game, I'll play with. Sorry, Jeff, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say these all sound like made up names to me. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Apparently,
Probably are. I don't-
apparently it's Fuecoco, like Fuego mixed. Okay, I see.
Sounds horrible.
Fuecoco.
I'll declare that
Fuecoco.
racist. I'm
It's
never-
actually Glen
Like
Coco.
chocolate, like fire chocolate. Is that what we're talking about?
Thank you, CJ. I was hoping that wasn't gonna go.
If I buy this game, which I probably won't because it's a Pokemon game, I want the duck because he looks like Howard the Duck.
That's Quaxley.
Okay,
right?
no, Quaxley, and then he evolves into something amazing. I was like that.
Is it
hold on.
like is it like Blaziken levels of like this is sick as fuck? And
He
then
evolves into Scrooge McDuck.
No, he evolves
No,
into
fuck.
Quaxwell. Tell me that's not fucking amazing.
That's a sick ass name.
Quaxwell
All right,
is
I'll
actually
buy it.
really
See?
good, Britt. That's
I'll
actually
buy this game.
that's
I'll
fucking
buy this
that's
game.
strong.
I'll stream it. I'll be a Pokemon stream. I'm gonna be a Pokemon guy from now on. I'm gonna pivot to Pokemon
Quaxwell?
now.
Quaxwell. That's so strong.
That's a sick
that's
name, bro.
Really good. Yeah.
That's a sick fucking name.
Jeff, are you getting Pokemon Scarlet or Violet?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so Jeff doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm
solid.
happy. I'm happy for everyone who is.
Jeff doesn't care.
I don't even know like what this game is. Is it like Arceus? Is it like another remake of the old ones?
like-
No,
So
it's a
basically,
new
you get
gen.
these Pokemon. You get these little monsters called Pocket Monsters, and they fight each other.
Sorry, is it
That's
Arceus? Did I just embarrass myself?
It's Arceus, right? I think it's Arceus.
I rated it as Arceus, but I think
That's
you're right. I think it's Arceus.
I mean,
It's a
everybody. I
Canadian-
call
Canadian way
it
of pronouncing it.
Arceus. So
So
Arceus? Okay.
Jubal Khan asks, "Who's your first choice on which Final Fantasy character to cosplay as?"
Man, there's a lot to pick from.
For me, I mean, I guess it's got to be like one of the older characters, like Sid from Final Fantasy VII, or Bosch, or fucking Auron or something. I guess or Sid.
Who is
Sid,
Arn the
Sid from Final Fantasy IV, maybe.
is Arn the
you would absolutely beat Sid from Final Fantasy VII.
I would
Shut
be.
up and drink your goddamn tea. Are
Yeah.
you? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is Sid? I mean, Arn the Ronin dude from fucking
Yeah,
10.
Auron. He
Yeah.
wears.
Okay,
He's the
then
older
that's
guy.
that's my pick then, because he's sick as fuck, and that's the only.
I was
Final
either
Fantasy
gonna
game I
say
played.
Sid from 7 or Sabin from 6.
Sabin would be another one that I think I could probably pull off. I got the build for it. Britt,
You
what
just
about
fucking suplex Beatrix 100%.
Beatrix,
If I was,
okay.
yeah, if I was gonna cosplay any Final Fantasy. So like yeah,
I'll
Beatrix.
I'll suplex a fucking train. Jeff, what about you? What's the Final
Beatrix or
Fantasy
Tifa.
character
One of the two.
that you would cosplay as?
Because Tifa is superior girl on Final Fantasy 7.
Wait, are you saying Jeff is going to cosplay as Tifa?
No, no.
Oh,
that
you
would-
Nobody
missed-
wants
okay.
that.
First of all, you're wrong.
I gotta
Britt.
stop-
Okay.
I got a soft spot for Grahatia, but I also might cosplay
That's
as
a
Daniel
good
just
one.
to piss
I
off
could-
Brit.
I could absolutely see Jeff cosplaying Grahatia. Absolutely.
Why is everybody being so chaotic to me? CJ with his. You know what? I don't want to be basement folk anymore. You know what? That's all on you guys.
Wow.
Fuck you
Fine.
guys.
That's
That's
fine.
fine.
You wouldn't get it anyway.
The upstairs folk will never accept
They
you.
will
You're-
never
You're
understand.
destined to
100%.
come back to us.
You're
I'll be mid. I'll be mid folk.
Brit's gonna live on the middle floor. She's just gonna sleep on the couch.
There is no escape from the fortress of the moles.
So what else?
You guys
we got?
know the Grahatia voice actors in Bridgerton? I just found that out.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I used. Yeah, I know.
How do you
Crazy.
spell that
Never
fucking
watched
name?
that. But
Bedmeister wants to know pee or poo.
Oh, piss,
I mean,
100%,
piss
baby.
for sure.
Piss, let's go.
Like if you got to
Yeah.
pick one, like who's
Piss.
picking shit, right? Like nobody.
Shit's funnier.
Nobody's
Objectively.
nobody's picking shit. Nobody's
Boobies.
picking shit.
I think this question was like on the planning board when they were making Death Stranding. I'm pretty sure this was pinned up on like a whiteboard.
And it was
somewhere.
both. And Kojima was like,
So, Maddie
Isn't it
dude,
the meme of the guy trying to push the button. Like which one? He's just fucking.
It's no, you know, like what is the story where like James Cameron wrote Aliens
Oh my God,
and it's like the dollar sign.
Okay, let me do. Okay, go to the next question. I'm gonna make that.
okay. Maddie dude wants an SDGC fighter tier list. Who would be the best to worst fighter?
Okay, so John's obviously S rank. Let's get that out of the fucking way. If you give me a gun, I'd be up there too, but I don't think weapons are allowed.
I think this is like either melee weapons or hand to hand. Like it's.
I could hit you with a gun with a bullet. What kind of fighting game is this?
Let's say it's Street Fighter.
Street Fighter? Well,
no, let's say it's Mortal Kombat.
Oh, then I'm.
no, because Mortal Kombat has like actual gadgets. That's what I'm
yeah.
asking.
Okay. Street Fighter. Okay. Yeah.
So it's Street Fighter. So it's purely hand to hand. It's purely like it's just
not to toot my own horn here, but I think.
Okay. Yes.
I'm clearly.
We're in the
S
fucking
tier.
military. Of course you're.
Yeah,
S
dude,
tier.
you get the fuck.
I'm bottom. I'm bottom, baby.
I worked
I'm
retail,
the
I
bottom
guess.
right
I don't know.
now.
You and I are kind of on the same level at that point, John.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
different, yeah, different background, but the results the same.
Yeah, it's all.
We're both battle hardened.
Yeah, it's all deadly. It's all deadly.
I'm with Brad. I'm way at the bottom. I'm that fucking character that's just a mess of balancing, and everyone's begging for buffs or whatever on the next patch. Like nobody ever picks.
But one guy at the tournament's like really good with you.
Yeah,
They figured out like an exploit on how to like get more health or whatever by like. You know.
I feel like Derek is close to the top actually because he's just gonna talk his way out of that shit.
You
Like,
can't talk your way out of
Kombat.
Street Fighter.
No.
It's,
or he's gonna like.
no, we're doing Street.
He's gonna distract
Derek
people.
could be mid.
I don't know. I feel like he
Derek-
would distract people with his beautiful face and textured voice.
Oh, okay. Finn would be incredibly powerful, but he's also incredibly hard to control. He's like fucking like Pichu in Smash. If you or no Jigglypuff, sorry, he's like Jigglypuff in Smash. You land that beat down, perfectly done. Like that's Finn.
I feel like Justin is near the top. I feel like Big Bustin is near the top. To be honest with you,
I'm bottom tier 100%. I cannot fight to save my life.
Justin.
Oh look, basement folks together again.
Justin's a
100%.
grappler. Justin is 100%
Britt,
a grappler.
no. Jeff and I are at a lower level than you.
I gotta call this though, because Dorian Gamer in chat just asked, who's the one that picks a random character and just button mashes? 100% me. I don't know how to play Smash Brothers. I just pick Pikachu. I stand on the edge of the map and I just spam Thunderbolt and pick off all the people with 200. I just wait for people with 200% damage. I just fucking pick them off one at a time.
I'm so glad we didn't end up playing Smash. We didn't end up playing fucking Smash.
Constantly, the whole match is spamming Thunderbolt. Pika, for like 10 fucking minutes. That's for sure. That's pro strats.
Pilknock wanted to know, or I'm sorry, in Discord, she's known right now as Pilknock. Who has the pet with the most frequent and or most heinous smelling toots? It's
Moo.
No, it's Dottie. Dotties are fucking worse, dude. Like,
But I love Dottie.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Whatever's going on in Dottie's stomach, you could put her in a bioweapons lab and process that shit and sell it on the black market and make.
Maybe she's
millions.
allergic. Like, maybe she don't like the food y'all give her.
Dude, Dottie is so horrified by her own farts that when she farts, she turns her head around, sniffs her ass, and then runs off. Like that every fucking time. You always know it was Dottie because she'll turn, even if you don't hear it, you'll smell it. Then you'll see her turn around, sniff, like huff her own fart, and then run away in shame.
So,
every
like,
time.
I feel like farts, like, yeah, dogs are the worst, but like cats with like
I have never
like
smelled a cat fart.
smelling their shit. Like, well, like litter boxes, right? So that's what I'm comparing it. This is such a weird question. You know what, Dottie? Move on. Let's next.
But look, it's an important. It's an important question, right? So
Yeah.
Big Wigs 007. Has there ever been a moment in a game
I like the name.
an often overlooked detail in a game that made you really appreciate the craftsmanship and love that went into the project?
I bring this up a lot. I don't know if it's a moment, but it's just a little thing because I'm I don't care about like the way I don't care about a lot of big AAA games specifically, but I am a sucker for like things that look nice. And the first time I played Far Cry 5, the way the weapon charms move on your gun, like completely like blew me away. Just the amount of detail they put into the way like when your weapon sways, this little like lock or something just bumps into the gun. Like I it's shit like that that absolutely made me like, oh man, this medium is capable of such incredible things. That's it's always like small little like things like that. Or in Red Dead 2, when you fire your gun like a revolver and you hold the hammer down before like it clicks back in, like shit like that's always been like my personal favorite things in any big game.
It's it's funny that you say Red Dead 2 because that was a game that one of my favorite games of all time. That just like every little speck of detail, excluding the horse balls, really was just
No, horse balls
phenomenal.
were like up there, man. You gotta admit,
Horse
it's
balls
incredible.
were pretty incredible.
Well, not worth the crunch in my opinion,
Oh,
but
not at all.
I digress. Um, Red Dead is definitely one that I was just like, oh, wow, like they put all the like little side quests that you can do that you don't even realize that are available in the game. Like, it's just insane. Like you randomly like like the farm that you burn down. I don't remember what farm it is, but like that big story mission where you get that cool like silhouette of all the cowboys walking forward and the fire behind them.
Yeah.
If you run like go to the back part of that farm, there's some woods and there's like an outhouse. There's a girl chained up in there, and you can't get her out. But it just like little details like that. You go on a farm, they basically knock you out and steal all your fucking money, and then you have to go hunt them down. Like the what man? I forget what his name is. Like the more you could like, there's a little house in the marshlands of the wow, what's his name?
I forgot. Like I forgot a bunch of those characters' names. Like,
Well, it's the I was gonna is it the Quiet Man? The what man? It's some kind of
Please.
man. He was in the first Red Dead. And it's like the more you do, the more that little house in the marshes gets decorated and the painting of his face fills in. And it's like there's so much attention to detail there that's incredible. So Red Dead is mine. I will say though that Horizon Forbidden West definitely like when I was playing it, and I remember texting John this because I was just so blown away. It was the first game that felt like I would like, okay, this is why I bought my PS5 because it just looked so fucking good. But yeah, that's my answer.
So I think for me, the first one that comes to mind is Metroid Dread. When you're firing little like her like Samus's animations.
oh my
Are
god,
so cool. Like CJ when you're firing her arm cannon and you stop and
Showed me, yes.
she like sets her feet a little bit. Like yeah, I showed you that CJ. CJ like had his mind blown. CJ was
Oh
like,
my
what
god,
the
like,
fuck?
the
Like,
animation stuff in that game is on to the point where like I hate Metroidvanias and I'll fucking buy that game just for the movement. Like it looks incredible. Are you kidding
Range
me?
Man, thank you, Jamba.
it is like and she'll fire her arm cannon and you see that little glow where the tip of the cannon heats up every time she fires it, and she's putting her whole body into fire, and then she stops and she'll like settle herself and just like reassert, like plant her feet a little firmly. And like I showed CJ that, CJ was like, what the fuck? And I was like, wow, like CJ had a visceral reaction
Because
to that.
it's a 2D Nintendo game with a fucking budget. You never see that. They don't treat their fucking Mario games that. You know what I'm saying? It was that blew me away.
Yeah.
It's always the outside, the second or third party companies that handle the Nintendo like stuff like that so much better.
Like
Man.
the little details in Samus's movement in Metroid Dread make it feel like it makes it feel like she's like you're really there. Like she's there and she's she's in danger, and but there's also, it gives her, CJ, like she's already a character that just oozes confidence and badassery. And like those little movements that they give her, like planting her feet after she fires, or like you're after you jump down, she like kind of like settles a little bit. You know, it's like
so good.
like what it just feels alive. It's so fucking cool. CJ, have you already gone or?
Yeah, Jeff. It's Jeff's turn.
Okay, Jeff. Right.
I'm bad with this stuff on the spot. I know there's tons of games that I love, probably that have lots of great details. So I'm gonna pick one that's pretty recent. And I was just talking about in chat earlier, so I'm always happy to give it a shout out. It's my game of the year for this year for sure. It's Unpacking, which is a little indie game that's available on Game Pass. And I talked about it previously on the podcast. But literally, this whole game is all about the little details. That's how it tells the story from level to level of this person's life as they're growing up from like a little girl to a young woman and going through college and life and love and loss and things like that. But it's all about their like unpacking as they move and move through their life and all their little possessions and the stuff it tells you. Like you move into a house 5 years later and all of a sudden they've got a cane or like one of those little packages under the sink and it's got like the little like person like this with like the red chest like for like chest or back pain or something like that, and you're like, oh, they're they've got a walking cane and some painkillers and stuff like that. They're going through a tough time right now. Or a self-help book on their shelf, or like a teach yourself guitar or things like that. Like they broke up with a guy and they're clearly going through like a new phase of self-discovery and stuff like that. Or one of my favorite ones is when you unpack all their movies, like it's pixel art, and I'm talking like they've got like, and you can even tell, and they have a Wii and they have a GameCube, and you could actually tell like each of these cases is maybe like 10 pixels tops, and somehow you could tell that's a Wii case, that's a GameCube case, that's a DVD case, that's a Blu-ray case, just by the simple colors and design of the box and the shape of it. Like the Blu-ray ones are a little bit shorter than the DVD box, but not only that, the cover art of each one, there's like Shin Godzilla, which I sent that one to Justin, there's Up, Donnie Darko, Jaws, like, and I'm talking like you're dealing with like 5 pixels here, and somehow they made it recognizable. And it's such an afterthought. These could just be movies that you're putting on a shelf, but I just really appreciate it. And you get a sense of like, oh, these are the kind of movies that this person likes. And it really helps sell the game. So I absolutely love just inspecting every little item in that world and in that game. It was super cool.
So we actually have like more questions, but we got like 2 minutes left. So we will
do one more.
Do one more.
Do one more. Do one more.
You want to do one more?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do one more. Let me pull up.
What are people going to do if we go over? We go over every week. Like, what are they going to do?
It's a fucking free podcast. All right, we're good.
Yeah. All right. But also, like,
our producers.
But hey, I got God of War over there, right? Like, I mean, I got to get back to, and I got the day off tomorrow because it's a federal holiday. So.
Oh fuck yeah! Let's go, baby.
Dude,
government employees up in the.
I'll stay on here for another hour, man. I got nowhere to be.
You know what the fuck I'm doing tomorrow. So let's see. Let me get a good one here. What is it? Remorse Betrayal asks, what game made you go, hey, this is actually good from a series you never heard about?
Sorry, say that one more time, John.
What is a game?
For my Super Brain?
Yeah, what is a game that you thought was good from a series that you weren't familiar with?
Oh, I'll go first.
Okay, good.
Sorry, CJ. You want to go?
No, go. Yeah. No, go. Mine's a technicality. Like
okay.
It's weird.
Dragon Quest 11. Literally never played a Dragon Quest game in my life. I was like, hey, this game has a cool art style. It looks great. I'm going to just fucking dive in. Absolutely loved it.
Fantastic game.
Phenomenal game. So that's my pick for sure.
You should replay that soon, Jeff. I'm due for a replay on that one.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest 11 is fucking great. CJ, what about you?
Okay, I've heard of this series, but because I can't think of anything I played from something I never heard of, like as far as like long running things like that. There's a lot of games from series I've never played through an entire like Resident Evil game or a Street Fighter game or Silent Hill or Final Fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Like there's but the big one is obviously it's Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Never played a Metal Gear game before. When I first got my PS4, the first game I bought I got in 2016. Before I bought Uncharted 4, before I bought any of the Assassin's Creed games I wanted to play, before I bought whatever 2K game I wanted. I bought Phantom Pain first. 300 hours, the peak of like that gen for me. Absolutely
Phantom
wonderful.
Pain is so fucking good.
It like virtually ruined every other action game for me. It ruined virtually every open world game for me. It is the best example of this is how, we're gonna give you all these tools. We're gonna give you this playground. You figure it out. How you're gonna do it? How are you gonna like? What is it? My cousin and I were playing around the same time. There was a mission where you had to take out like this general. I killed him because I didn't think there was any other way to go about it. He managed to get him out alive by using anti-material tranquilizer bullets in his sniper. And we're just like, holy shit, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know. After 300 hours, I didn't even realize you could put out fires with a water gun. Or you could stop, drop, and roll to get fire, like to put the fire out that's on yourself, or you could take out bosses by dropping a fucking
or
care package on them.
And they gave you the huge maps, and people, it's like some people complained that they were like empty, or they're like wasn't money, but it's like, oh, that's not the fucking point. It's like you could drive or like run like 5 miles out into the middle of nowhere,
and you'll find
like,
something.
Set a trap for like a convoy of vehicles coming.
That's
or something
the thing.
like that.
That game forced you to study everything. If you wanted to, you can like study like the sleep cycles of soldiers, and I'm like, holy shit, this is it. And I knew a bunch of stuff about Metal Gear before. I knew it was like all over the place, and like it's this revered franchise. Everything I know about Metal Gear now, I know through like osmosis. I know virtually everything. I know the big ending to, you know, Sons of Liberty, which is like this profound and like prophetic thing that like, you know, basically predicted everything that happened. Now I know all about the ending to Metal Gear Solid 3 and how like the game forces you to pull the trigger at the end. Phantom Pain was the first time I actually set foot in this world. I didn't feel lost. I just felt like, holy shit, this is it for me. And it still is. I'm still chasing that high. I'm still chasing like the high of that specific game. Elden Ring came close. Red Dead 2 came close. Breath of the Wild disappointed me because I had just played that and I couldn't get into it the same way. That's basically this. It's like the greatest discovery. To the point where like I have the art book that Christine got me for Christmas one year, because I just love that. I wanted to be back in that world. It's like every day I'm fighting the urge to put another like 400
it's your game
hours
that
in
you
there.
wish you could forget so you could experience all over again.
And yes, and also because there's no way to replay it without individually selecting missions. This is why I can literally just start over in the menu. I would do it immediately.
CJ, I want to
you
point
guys
out,
would hear from me.
You now have a PS Vita with Metal Gear Solid 3 on it, which is the absolute pinnacle of that franchise.
I know, but man, I tried it on 3DS. I tried it on PS3 because I have the collection. I've tried it on every single. There is no. I will never truly like this game because it controls like fucking garbage. I can't forgive it.
So the version on PS Vita is the Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence version, which has a third-person camera.
I know that because that's the same version on PS3. I have that version. I still can't. It's
hard to go back after Phantom Pain.
The thing, Phantom Pain, because Phantom Pain is not just the best controlling Metal Gear game; it's the best controlling game. Like that Fox engine is incredible. Play any other action game like it. There's no Ghost Recon Wildlands was the most disappointing thing I played because it doesn't compare to like any of the tactics or anything. Anyway, Britt, how about you?
I honestly think mine has to be the very first Kingdom Hearts game. Because the only reason why I really wanted it is because it had Final Fantasy characters.
Oh my god, hold up, Britt, to add on to it, that would have been mine because I had never heard of a Final Fantasy game before I played that, and that's the reason I know anything about Final Fantasy, because of Kingdom Hearts 1.
So
one of the greatest games ever made.
I grew up a big Final Fantasy fan, and I don't even want to know what 2001. 2001.
02. Yeah.
Was it 02 when Kingdom Hearts first came out?
That was 02.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I lived in a very, very small town, and to get any kind of, like, we didn't have any kind of, like, nearby stores or anything, so we usually had to drive about 30 minutes to get to any place that sold video games. I remember my dad had checked me out early because I had some kind, like a dentist appointment or some kind of doctor's appointment, and he had picked me up when we were close to the mall, and I was like, hey, can I get a video game? And he was like, sure. And I ended up just picking out Kingdom Hearts because I was like, yeah, this has like Final Fantasy characters in it. Like, sure, I'll play it. And it's so funny because I played it, and like my friends were over at the time and they would play it, and they saw me playing it, and they were like, they ended up all getting it. And, you know, Kingdom Hearts is huge now, but it was just funny because I was like the little trendsetter in my friends group. Like, I randomly picked up this Disney Kingdom Hearts game or this Disney Final Fantasy game, which like now I'm like, that's 100% my shit. But like then I was like, I don't know if this will be good, but I want to try it because it has like Final Fantasy characters in it. Yeah, it was just it's just crazy to think about that. Like, I just picked that game up on a whim just because it had Final Fantasy characters in it.
I know we're over time, but I gotta know, like, you know, I love Disney. You know, I love Final Fantasy. I've been so close to trying a Kingdom Hearts game, and then people tell me like, fucking don't. Like, look, so what do I do?
No, Jeff, here's the thing.
I want to play it now. You got
you
me
didn't grow
again.
up playing it. You're gonna hate it. Trust me. No. It's like Sonic. You're not gonna like it. You're not. It's one of those things you
But
have
I
to.
might. I might.
No, Jeff. You won't.
No.
I'm gonna.
You
So,
won't.
okay, so like wait until the new one comes out, and I will be like, okay, like whether or not this. No hate to anybody that loves Kingdom Hearts. Like I get it. It's like you grew up with it. Like I get it. It's a big part of your life. That doesn't change the fact that the story is confusing and doesn't make any sense. And I know people are gonna come at me for that.
No, it's true.
It's true.
It's Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2 is like the single-handedly the greatest PlayStation 2 game to ever be released, in my opinion. There's no way I could tell anyone to play it. There's no way I can recommend that game. There's nothing in that, Jeff. It's like it's not even worth it. Just don't even watch like a Let's Play. Just that's it. Forget Kingdom Hearts ever existed.
Okay, Jeff. First,
play the Disney Extreme Skate Adventure game on PS2 instead.
No. Okay.
I don't know what's happening right now.
No, just listen to this. If you're gonna take any advice from tonight of whether or not you should play a Kingdom Hearts game, go watch a lore video of somebody explaining the lore, and decide from there, from that hour-and-a-half video, if you wanted to play Kingdom Hearts.
It's gonna be the fucking. CJ and I watched that episode, The Simpsons with the cider factory, and Homer's brain just leaving his body.
That's Flanders explained.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna look up this lore video right now.
There's tons.
All right, you nerds.
John's gonna dip out. I'm gonna stay on stream and watch the entirety of this lore video.
But share a screen too.
I want to play God of War. So I am.
Go play God of War, you fucking nerd.
I am a
3 hours and 24 minutes. Fucking let's go.
Part 1.
Jeff is in now. CJ and Jeff are gonna watch it together.
Yeah.
Good. I need to catch up.
So thanks to everyone we didn't get all the questions. So we had a lot of questions to answer tonight. It's always nice to see. Our Discord has been growing a great deal over the past few days. We almost have 400 people. We've had like 30 new fucking people join. So please join our Discord. As Twitter gets worse and worse, our Discord just gets better and better. Because we're getting cool people who are fleeing Twitter. So join us there. Guys, we have a PayPal. And next year, not a PayPal, a Patreon. And we would like to start attending cons again. So if we could get that Nightbot in chat, anything you want to. This is a free podcast. It's always going to be a free podcast. We will never gate our content behind a paywall. But your kindness helps us get to these conventions where we work hard. We do interviews, we do panels, and it's just a nonstop moving for us to give you guys content. So anything you could give us or anything you could provide to help us get to these conventions would be greatly appreciated. But you also don't have to. So we're gonna love you regardless. Go ahead and throw us a sub here on Twitch if you haven't already, or just give us a follow. We appreciate either or. Guys, does anyone have anything else before we log off here?
You guys are all right.
Yeah, we're fine.
Let me explain to you again why Thor is such a great character in God of War.
Cut us out, John. Cut us out.
As you can see here, this is a beefy, good-looking man. Are we off?
No, we're going. Keep going.
Okay, we have a good, beefy-looking man. He's full of tattoo. Like, he hasn't showered in